Good morning, Class A Iowa high school football fans, and welcome to Saints TV Quickcast number 2, week number 8. Here we go. This is it. The final regular season games kick off tonight. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful evening for football here in Iowa. We're going to bring you Quickcast number 2, talk about key matchups tonight. There are 5 games to watch around the state. We'll take a look at those matchups, give you Steve the St. Louis Soothsayers prediction on the winner in those games, and then we'll talk a little bit about who we think those top 32 teams will be, how that will shake out based on those results here tonight. And we'll get you all set up for Friday night football here in Iowa at the Class A level. So let's jump right in. Hey, look, a little something like this. Game number 1, key game number 1 looks like this. North Lynn, number 10, right? They drop a tough one last week, lose to Maquoketa Valley. So they drop to number 10. They play Bellevue tonight. All of a sudden, this game is for second place, right? Bellevue can pass North Lynn with a victory tonight and take that spot there in that district and end up the 2 seed in their district. So that becomes a very key game at Bellevue tonight with that one. We've done a little predicting here on Saints TV on these shows the last couple of weeks, and Steve, the saintly soothsayer, who's using his supercomputer to help him decide who's going to win these games, is 9-0 going into week number 3. 5-0 the first week, 4-0 last week, including 2 upsets. This week, he's going to make his picks here on this Quickcast number 2, and he likes North Lynn in this one. Steve says strong defense and offensive dominance are going to be the difference for North Lynn. Powerful rushing attack that we've seen with multiple players contributing. Drew Rice leads the team with 457 yards and 5 touchdowns rushing. Bellevue's struggled defensively against strong teams. They've allowed 58 and 35 points in games against ranked teams. So Steve likes North Lynn. 35-14 is the final in that one, according to Steve, the saintly soothsayer. Game number 2 looks like this. Columbus, Danville at Danville. Both teams 4-3. This is for the 3 spot in this district. Both teams will make the playoffs. It's a matter of which one's the 3 and which one's the 4. Steve says Columbus. He likes the road team here as well. He likes Columbus because of Riley Kalberg and that 1,045 rushing yards, 8.4 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns for Kalberg for Columbus. I think we can agree we can call that a strong rushing attack. Balanced offense as well. Steve likes balance. We've talked about that. Highly efficient in the passing game. Trevor Phillips, 68% completion rate, 524 yards, and 9 touchdowns for Phillips. So that creates the balance to Kalberg's 1,045 rushing yards. And of course, their defense has been opportunistic. Will that make the difference in this one? Steve thinks so. He's got it. Columbus 35, Danville 21. Game 3, South Central Calhoun at Earlham. Again, same story here. This will be for the 3 seed. The team that wins is the 3. The other team is the 4. Both will make the playoffs. Balance, balance, balance. Steve likes balance. He's going to give this one to South Central Calhoun because of that balance. Steve, the St. Louis Soothsayer, gets his first loss, in my opinion. I think Earlham wins this one, but Steve says South Central Calhoun's got it because of that balance. Andrew Anderson, 812 yards, 4 touchdowns, while Higgins leads the team with 289 yards on the ground, but the total team rushing 1,170 yards. So they are definitely balanced. They're doing it with several different backs, as well as an 800-yard passer in Andrew Anderson. Their defense been legit. Higgins also the leading tackler. This team's got 34 tackles for losses. You look at stats, that really jumps off the paper at you. Steve says South Central Calhoun 28, Earlham 17. Let's see what Caleb Smith can say about that, right? The running back for Earlham, 887 yards, again, 8.6 yard average carry. That's impressive. So it's Caleb Smith versus the balanced attack for South Central Calhoun. Game number 3, Westwood and St. Albert. This one's for 4th. This is a winner go home, at least in all likelihood. The winner of this game is your 4 seed in this district. Steve likes St. Albert in this one. Again, balanced, right? Solid passing game. Owen Marshall, 916 yards, 10 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. And that rushing attack led by Kyle Irwin with 478 yards and 4 touchdowns. That balance makes them hard to defend. Defensively, Cole Hobbs has 67 tackles. Cole Hobbs, 67 tackles. That's impressive. So maybe you might want to try to run it away from Cole Hobbs. Just this guy's opinion. Steve says St. Albert 28, Westwood 14, and St. Albert makes the playoffs. And in your game of the night, in our last Steve the St. Lee Soothsayer prediction matchup, Nashua Plainfield travels to Wapsie Valley on senior night for the district championship. They don't get any better in this one, right? This one should be a fun game. Wapsie Valley has played well as of late. Nashua Plainfield a little banged up. They drop a tough one last week, get shut out by North Butler. Steve says Wapsie Valley has the edge here. Strong rushing attack. Wapsie Valley, Kanan Decker, 758 yards, 10 touchdowns. And then you've got Miller and Curley who contribute as well in that powerful ground game for Wapsie Valley. 12 sacks as a team as well. Hunter Curley has 37.5 tackles and 9 sacks on the season. So Curley's the guy to watch there defensively. It looks like for Nashua, they've just been inconsistent. They have trouble passing the ball, only 37% completion percentage for Nashua Plainfield coming into this game. Gellner's the real deal running the ball. Kalanoff is when he's healthy. He has not been healthy the last several weeks. They see if they can get him back tonight to full strength. He's played, but he's been limited in what he's been able to do. Steve thinks that gives Wapsie Valley the edge. They win it 28-14 and will win that district with that victory. Nashua Plainfield, if that plays out, will still finish second and will be a good 2 seed, obviously, coming out of that district. So there's your key matchups for this week. 5 games that will all have implications on district standings. If Steve's right, then here's your Saints TV prediction. We've taken Steve's predictions, put them with what we think we know, try to apply some geography. We think this is what these 32 matchups will look like. And best guess, right? We can no longer say way too early because these matchups will be out less than 24 hours from now. We will have the 32 qualifiers tonight, and the 16 matchups get announced tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We will go and bring you one of these episodes tomorrow morning after those pairings are released. We'll talk about some of the key matchups, some things that we see. We'll try to get through some stats. And of course, we'll give you Steve the St. Lee Soothsayer's first round matchup predictions as who he sees as the 16 teams that make it out of round number 1. Remember, in Iowa high school football, we're going to let these 16 matchups play out, figure out exactly who the 16 teams are. Then they will make pods. So after next Friday night, after this first round games, they'll make 4 pods of 4 that will sort of have a bracket then at that point, right? Where we can start to tell who's going to play who as the rounds progress. And then they redo those seedings after we get to the dome. So after those pods play themselves out before the semifinal games, they'll reseed those last 4 teams as they go into the dome. So a fun 6 weeks of football, 7 counting tonight ahead of us here in Iowa high school football. That's your Class A Saints TV Quickcast number 2. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being here and playing along. We sure enjoy doing these. We're glad you're here to be a part of it. We will try to bring you more throughout the playoffs here. Like I said, we anticipate bringing you one of these tomorrow at some point where we will try to, once those pairings are announced, we'll make our predictions and come out here and give you a little analysis on Class A football as we head into the playoffs. Good luck. Week 8 starts in just a few hours. Have a great Friday. See ya.